I'm Victoria Cash. Thanks for calling the Lucky Land Hotline. If you feel like you do the same thing every day, press 1. If you're ready to have some serious fun for the chance to redeem some serious prizes, press 2. We heard you loud and clear. So go to LuckyLandSlots.com right now and play over 100 social casino-style games for free. Get lucky today at LuckyLandSlots.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
If you could, I know you'd go back to bed. No such luck. Your boss is waiting for you. Off to work, it's Monday. Traffic out there on the highway. Again, you're gonna be late. Off to work, it's Monday. Gotta go, it's Monday.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. It is, of course, a Monday morning. We'll try to ease you back into the work week with the Monday morning throwback. A bit later on, some three-ways with Scott Robert Shaw. Bad news, happy music. If you need something, you can get in touch with us, rockmornings.com for all of our contact info. Also going to be running our interview with Bill Dixon, stunt bike rider who's going to be in town for the Big River Rally this weekend. Mm-hmm. Those shows are on Saturday, I believe, 1, 3, and 5.
Correct.
In the afternoon, and I believe they're free to attend as well. If you want to bring the kids down and check that out. But Bill Dixon coming to town, the Extreme Yamaha Experience. We'll talk to Bill Dixon a bit later on this morning. Hit up BigRiverRally.com for tickets and info and a full schedule of events happening this weekend with the Big River Rally.
Good Southern boy, that Bill Dixon.
Beartooth and Foo Fighters coming up in a few minutes, plus Scott Robert Shaw in the newsroom.
More of your Rock Mornings coming up in just a bit.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw, who is in the newsroom this morning for our first three-way. What's happening, bud?
The last phase of a triple murder trial begins this morning in a La Crosse County courtroom. Testimony ended on Friday at the second murder trial of Nia Tao, and closing arguments are scheduled today. The prosecution rested after 4 days of witnesses, and the defense did not call anyone to the stand. Tao chose not to testify in his own defense. He's accused of fatally shooting 3 men at a West Salem quarry in 2021 over a $600 debt to another suspect. Tao's first trial a year ago ended with no verdict. After that, jury discussed the case for about 10 hours. At the top of his first speech as her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz turned to Vice President Kamala Harris and declared, "Thank you for bringing back the joy." The next day, Harris took the theme a step further, branding the Democratic ticket Joyful Warriors. By comparison, former President Donald Trump opened a news conference at his Mar-a-Lago club in Florida saying, "We have a lot of bad things coming up." Democrats are playing up their sunnier outlook, but the Trump campaign argues their candidate is reflecting the country's more accurate and dour mood. It was another big weekend for the Irish in La Crosse. The city's 19th annual Irishfest wrapped up its 3-day run at the Fest grounds yesterday. Fest president Pat Stevens recalled the event resulted from a discussion 2 decades ago among a few couples who wanted to start a local Irish festival.
Everybody agreed to give it their all for at least 10 years if it lasted that long. So here we are in year 19. And we've already got plans going for the 20th for next year.
The fest included lots of music, food, and Irish culture. It's traditionally held in early August, so performers who attend Irish festivals in Milwaukee and Minneapolis can also appear in La Crosse that same month.
Bro, it was so...
You were down there, right?
I was down there a lot, and it was so nice. I've gone to Irish Fest almost every year, and because it's in August, it's always hotter than balls. Always. It's so hot down there every year. But this year, it was so nice down there. The weather was absolutely perfect, and everybody seemed to be in great spirits, and everybody seemed to have a good time. The beers were flowing. The food was delish. There was a lot of performances. We saw the Harp Twins again.
Of course.
And we were not there on Saturday night when Gaelic Storm played, but I heard they had a very special guest.
They did?
Who showed up. Flew in on a private jet from Detroit after his set to catch his girlfriend, the fiddle player for Gaelic Storm, Zac Brown.
Really?
Yeah.
You are kidding me.
No.
They bring him up on stage?
I think he did. I don't know for a fact. I wasn't there.
Okay.
But I got up on Sunday and I started to, peruse social media, and I saw pictures of him from the side of the stage or whatever, and he was there watching her. And then I saw her. I went to her Facebook page. Her name is Natalia Kay, and she is the fiddle player for Gaelic Storm, who played Saturday night down at the Irishfest here in town. And she had posted a thank you to
Irishfest.
Zac Brown. No, thank you to Zac Brown for playing on, because she played with him, I think, at Foxborough Stadium not too long ago when he played there in New England, and on one of his songs. And so I think he joined her this time at Irishfest.
That's cool.
I think. I don't know for a fact. I wasn't, like I said, I
We
wasn't
might
there.
get confirmation now.
But yeah, so that was, I was like, what? And I told my wife, I was like, hey, Zac Brown was here last night. And she's like, what? And I said, I know. It's crazy.
Good food, though. Good times. Good beer. Good Irish beer.
They had a cool spot in the cultural tent as well. I don't know if you probably saw our pictures, but they had a unique sort of, I don't know what you call it, display about the Titanic. And, they had a bunch of big poster boards put up with a bunch of information and news clippings and pictures of people that were on the boat and, a timeline of everything that had happened. And then they had some kind of like painted scenes, if you will. They had made it for a play, you make a scene for the stage or whatever. And it was the front of the ship, and they had some costumes, and you could put them on and take pictures.
Fun.
And it was unique because you would take a card out of the bucket, and it would give you the name of a passenger that was on an actual passenger that they know
and then
of.
you would assume that role.
And you would then be in that role, and you knew based on, who they were, like where they came from, what kind of passenger they were, like which level they would be on. Obviously the movie where he was, kind of poor and she
Below
was kind of,
deck,
yeah. And you would find out at the end, after you went through everything, whether or not you lived or died when the ship went down. And so I ended up being like one of the guys that was working on the boat that came up with the design of the Titanic.
Oh.
And then my wife ended up being like one of the ladies that ended up living. So yeah, it was kind of cool. It was neat. Yeah, different.
How was your mother's birthday party, Shaw?
It was very nice. Thank you. Yes, we celebrated my mother's 87th birthday over the weekend, and all of her kids and grandkids were able to make the trip, and some of her friends from where she lives. And so it was very, very nice. She had a special day.
Where's the leftover pulled pork?
I think it's in my mother's refrigerator.
Yeah,
right.
Mom kept it.
Okay.
Mom kept it. All the grandkids and kids, all the kids and grandkids.
Yep.
Wow.
All made it.
That doesn't
Very
happen
cool.
very often.
Exactly, yeah, because for some of them, from Madison to Minneapolis is not a quick trip, so...
What else is going on?
Well, Paris closed out 2.5 extraordinary weeks of Olympic sports and emotion with a star-studded show in France's national stadium. The French capital has now officially handed over hosting duties for the Summer Games to the next city in line, Los Angeles, in 2028. And in true Hollywood fashion, Tom Cruise descended from the top of the stadium to the Mission Impossible theme song before taking the Olympic flag from Simone Biles, putting it on the back of a motorcycle and roaring out of the stadium. Los Angeles is looking to prove that topping Paris is not Mission Impossible.
Yeah, good luck. They've got big plans to try and basically go carless. Did you see this?
No.
Yeah, the LA Olympics, obviously this has been in the works for a number of years.
yeah.
It's not like they just found out yesterday.
What?
Right.
We have to host the Olympics?
But obviously they have 4 years. They're trying to figure out a way to keep it so that people only take mass transit to get in and out of all the Olympic stuff and don't use their vehicles.
Well, good luck.
Yeah. Why don't you crap in one hand and wish in the other and tell me which one fills up first?
Well, I'll tell you, when we were in Washington, I would have not wanted to be trying to
Right.
drive around. Mass transit was
way to
thumbs
go,
up.
right?
It was the
When
way
you go to a big city, yeah. If you're new there or you're not
Yes.
from there, yeah, certainly. But yeah,
Americans and the Chinese tied.
Saw that 40
medal
gold.
count. It's the first time there's been a draw, if you will, in terms of the number of gold medals won at a Summer Olympics.
three-way with Shaw in the newsroom. We'll get back to him throughout the morning, plus bad news, happy music. Right now, it is Beartooth.
Rock mornings. On air, online, on the app.
Rock mornings with Brian and Gene. That, of course, the Foo Fighters with My Hero. As Shaw mentioned, U.S. and China ending up tied with 40 gold medals each. Of course, U.S. ending up with the overall medal count 126 to 91. We also had more silvers and bronze medals than anybody else. We might even end up with one more. Gymnast Jordan Childs got stripped of her bronze medal, but she is appealing it, so we'll see how that shakes out. We added 7 more golds on Saturday and Sunday. Of course, the men's basketball team got golds.
Yep.
Does Curry have another bank over the double team? Oh! It's a golden dagger! Exclamation point! Night, night! 8 threes for Curry. And for the 5th consecutive Olympics, the United States of America is golden. They defeat France.
Unbelievable. Steph Curry at the end of that game. Yeah. Unbelievable. Just unconscious. That double coverage three-pointer falling away. Just, I mean, look, we've seen him do it for years. It's nothing new, but it boggles the mind how good that guy is at basketball. Steph Curry leading the men's basketball team to gold by beating France 98-87. The women also beat France.
No timeouts here. It's Williams. That was a 2. Banked it in. What a finish. Williams with her foot on the line. The United States officially the most dominant Olympic team in all of team sport history. 8 straight golds, and the U.S. gets it done once again on France's home turf.
Yeah, a little closer with that one, 67-66 the final, but the women with their 8th straight gold medal in basketball. Women's soccer team beating Brazil 1-0. They grabbed their first gold in 12 years. We won 3 more gold medals in track and field and 1 in women's cycling as well over the weekend. Women crushed it this year for America, as always. They won 54% of our medals. Men snagged 41% of them, and then 5% of our medals came in mixed events. Female athletes also won twice as many golds. The women took home 26. Men only got 13. And male and female swimmers teamed up to win the mixed 4x100-meter relay. So that was pretty sweet. Winter Games are in Italy in 2026. And then LA, of course, hosting the Summer Olympics in 2028. Elsewhere in sports, the Brewers took 2 out of 3 from the Reds over the weekend. Beat them 8-3 on Friday, 1-0 on Saturday, but they lost 4-3 yesterday. The Brewers are at home tonight. For the first of 3 against the Dodgers, 7:10 first pitch. NFL action over the weekend. The Vikings beat the Raiders on Saturday, 24-23. The Packers over the Browns, 23-10. Nice little 65-yard touchdown from Jordan Love before he hung it up for the rest of the game. That, by the way, is probably going to be the last time you see him in the preseason. Jordan Love hit Dontavian Wicks, I think is.
Was it 65 yards?
Yeah, 65-yard touchdown pass, and then he came out of the game, and he might be done for the rest of the preseason until their September 6th regular season opener against the Eagles in Brazil. Matt LaFleur, head coach, said after the win that Love and most of the offensive starters will sit out preseason game number 2 at Denver next Sunday because
I was kind of surprised they were playing at all.
They'll get the necessary work in Friday's joint practice with the Broncos.
We went to see my mom.
Yeah.
We drove to see my mom on Saturday, took her for a little drive out in the country, stopped for a bite to eat, got back to her assisted living facility, and she was having trouble with her television. So she wanted to get it hooked up. The Packer game. So it's a little after 3 o'clock, right? And we're messing around. We can't get the HDMI cable fixed. And she's starting to stress out,
starting
right?
to freak out, yeah.
And so finally we get it on, and it's like 10 minutes before the game. And she's like, okay, it's been a nice visit. You can go.
Get out of here. Yeah. We had a very similar situation in our family as well.
Now you can get out of here now.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for fixing my television.
Sports on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We will talk to Shaw in just a couple of minutes. We'll get to the Monday Morning Throwback a bit later on, and some Wage War is coming up next.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
Wage War with Magnetic. Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Scott Robert Shaw in the newsroom. And now that the Olympics are over, the hell are you going to watch on television?
I'm wondering that very thing.
Right, Shaw?
We watched a lot of Olympic coverage.
I watched more Olympic coverage this year than I have.
Me too.
Ever.
Me too.
And I think from what I saw online,
But their numbers are way up.
Yeah, ratings have been solid.
Ratings have been pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's the Snoop effect. I don't know if it's a lot of viral stuff that's happening, right? We had the breakdancer. Boy, oh boy, was she terrible. What the hell was that all about?
I don't know, but it was
unbelievable.
A lot of
The
entertainment
memes,
for the weekend.
bang, bang. The memes just came out. Instant memes. It was like she was making the memes while she was trying to break dance.
Or pre-made them. Like
Good
they were ready
Lord.
to roll out as soon as she...
I could have break danced better than that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, it was so bad. What are you doing out there?
And that's the Olympics, huh?
Well,
yeah,
it doesn't reflect. I don't think her performance, not everyone's, but hers in particular, did not refect the beauty of breakdancing. It really, I don't know what the hell she was doing.
But the videos of her and then dogs, like my golden retriever can do this. We're
well, if you are
entertainment this weekend.
If you are looking for something to watch tonight, you've got The Bachelorette over on ABC. The remaining 7 men answering tough questions at a local radio station when they arrive in Seattle. Is that what we do? We ask people the tough questions, Shaw? Is that what radio
That's
people
what we do.
All right. Over on NBC, American Ninja Warrior. Over on the C-Dub tonight, All-American Homecoming. Name That Tune on Fox, followed by the 1% Club. Late night shows, most of them are back after being preempted for the Olympics. Fallon's got Channing Tatum tonight. Mark Wahlberg, going to be on Kimmel's show, which is guest hosted by Jeff Goldblum. Stephen Colbert's got Caitlin Collins and Walton Goggins. And then Seth Meyers is talking to John Mulaney and U.S. rugby star Alona Mar.
Nice.
Is going to be on with
nice,
Seth
really?
Meyers. I think her
That would be
birthday
great.
is. I think her birthday's today too. I think she's 27. Don't quote me on that, but yeah. So if you want to find out more about her and see what she's got going on after the Olympics, she'll be on tonight again with Seth Meyers. Alona Mar. So you just roll around on the floor, and that's breakdancing.
She made up all of her own moves. Apparently, is what I heard.
Moves.
Yeah,
Is that what you're calling?
Right. I did see some of the breakdance, just a few minutes, but those guys are super talented. I mean, they're like gymnasts.
I told you this. I was really looking forward to it. And the other performers, God bless them, they were great.
Yeah. The guy that's
She
spun on his
ruined
head
it,
for
though.
like
She did no favors for anybody else other than, becoming a mockery on the internet and people talking about breakdancing.
How
but
did
not
she qualify?
I have no idea. Like, isn't there some sort of like
prelims or something?
Well, maybe she went out there and did it on purpose, right? And threw the games or something. You know what I mean? Like, did it? I just don't get it. I don't understand what the hell was going on there. It made no sense to me.
Slither, slither, snaky snake, slither, slither.
Oh man, I'm just watching. I'm like, is it gonna get better? Like, is something gonna? Is this like some sort of like our hook, line, and sinker type thing? Like, where we're buying into this, and then all of a sudden, pow! The crazy is she got some kind of move that she's gonna drop on us to like make us forget about all this crap.
No, apparently not.
No, just got worse. Oy, oy, oy. So there was that. But all in all, we were at the bar on Saturday when the when it was actually on, not the highlights.
And
it was lit, bro. The whole bar was high-fiving and yelling and screaming, and Steph Curry hit every goddamn three-pointer in the world. And every time he hit one, they needed it, too. They were only up by 6 with a minute left. And it was like, it looked like they might drop that one after, everything was Serbia.
It was like, come on now, you can't do this, boys,
and then
right?
Steph went out there and balled. I mean, just unbewillible. Draining threes.
Yeah, they were right
all
in his
over the
face.
gym.
Didn't matter.
2 of them at a time, off balance. It was
Was that
fantastic.
his 5th gold? Was it for basketball?
I don't think he's got 5.
Okay.
That would mean he'd been at the Olympics for 20 years.
What did I hear about record breaking for the men's basketball?
I don't know. I'm not sure. A lot of records were set at the Olympics, so it's hard to keep track.
The women's team, the 8th in a row, right?
8 gold medals in a row.
Maybe that's what I was thinking.
So,
Sorry.
Three-way now with Shaw in the newsroom. What else happening?
Well, after a weekend of rest, jurors at the Nia Tao murder trial in La Crosse will hear closing arguments today and then begin their deliberations in the case. Tao is being tried for the second time on a charge of killing 3 men outside a La Crosse County quarry in 2021. The first trial a year ago ended with a hung jury. Just as in that first trial, Tao chose not to testify at this trial, and the defense called no other witnesses on Friday. A second suspect in the case, Cam Radensang, testified against Tao a year ago, but did not take the stand at this trial. The jury will return to court at about 8:30 this morning to receive its instructions The last weekend before an election often brings a blitz of campaign rallies and appearances by groups and people helping out certain candidates. Democratic congressional candidate Katrina Shanklin launched a final pre-primary campaign tour in La Crosse on Saturday. Traveling with Shanklin was David Hogg with a group called Leaders We Deserve. Hogg became politically active after a deadly 2018 shooting at his school, Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. Hogg spoke to La Crosse audience about gun regulations and the importance of the 3rd District House race.
This is also one of the most important races in the country, where this district could be the reason why we're able to pass stronger gun laws to help stop another Parkland from happening ever again.
Shanklin faces Rebecca Cook and Eric Wilson in tomorrow's primary. The Democratic winner will challenge Republican incumbent Derek Van Orden, who's seeking his 2nd term in Congress. Colleges, large and small, in the U.S. are cutting programs and eliminating majors to make ends meet. Among their budget challenges, federal COVID relief money is expiring, operational costs are rising, and fewer high school graduates are going to college. At St. Cloud State University in Minnesota, they've announced a plan to cut 42 degree programs and 50 minors, music among them. The move has created turmoil for students who chose the campus to study music, humanities, and the arts, often top the list of cuts across the country. Some colleges are phasing out the programs altogether. In others, students are abruptly forced to find a new school or change directions. The Perseid meteor shower reaches its peak today. Astronomers say it's one of the brightest and most easily visible showers of the year. This year's peak activity coincides with a moon that is 44% full. More than 50 meteors should be visible per hour in rural areas away from city lights. Experts say the meteors will look like fireballs in the night sky. The northern hemisphere has the best view. The Perseids will last through September 1st. They say you don't need special equipment to see them.
You just need clear skies.
You do, away from city lights.
I don't got to make a special box.
No.
Okay.
But you can see, I mean, it's every so many minutes. It's like, it's exciting if you
If you
are able to do
strain
that.
really hard, you might be able to see Uranus.
I don't think that's part of this one.
Might be. It's up there.
Don't be straining too hard.
Don't strain
could
trying to
pull
get a peek at
something.
Uranus, Shaw.
You could.
Yeah, don't hurt yourself.
Just get to a place where you're outside of the city lights, but you should be able to see a good show.
Three-way with Shaw in the newsroom. You wanna have a recreation? Me and Shaw recreate the breakdance and the popping and locking. We'll just roll around on the floor together, the two of us, in some green sweatpants or whatever the hell she was wearing. Looked like a tracksuit, right? Wasn't it like a? I don't know. It just boggles the mind.
Yeah.
You're watching that as one of the Olympic, the IOC people, Shaw. They're watching it like, what the hell are we doing?
How did we let her in?
Yeah, who let is that? Are we even sure she qualified or that she was
an Olympic athlete?
Right? Did she just sneak on? We had another Tom Cruise grabbing too. Did you see the woman that kissed him?
Yes, I did.
Bro,
after he landed,
I'll give him credit. He seems to be okay with it. Like for a dude that's super famous and that's willing to do all these crazy stunts and everything he's doing, I don't know why he was the. I don't know if it's going to team up and coincide with his Mission Impossible movie, if that's what's going on, if there's going to be some Olympic stuff. Maybe they were. I have no idea why Tom Cruise was.
Just to give it a little Hollywood flair, since they'll be hosting the Olympics in 2028.
I guess. It seemed. I mean, we had Snoop though. We had the.
Well, it's a nice tie. It ties it all together. But somebody,
but boy, he
random
comes
kissing.
No, so he comes down on the rope right from the top of the stadium. Mm-hmm. Pretty cool too. He's up there and there's a camera. It must be a drone or something. And then he just kind of turns around and goes, "See ya, yeet!" And then you see him going, and he's got the bag with the rope and he's feeding it out. And he gets down to the bottom and he gets down safely. And they unhook him and they show her the H.
He walked through the crowd of athletes there.
So then the athletes are all standing there. They all got their phones out and he's walking through them and he's high fiving and dapping people up and giving them the fist bumps and stuff. And then this one woman,
she grabbed him
like harshly and
turned him around
and it looked like at first she just wanted the selfie, but then she went in and gave him the smooch and he put his arm kind of around her and was okay with it. Or maybe he wasn't. I don't know. Maybe she might be lying in a grave somewhere right now for all I know.
Right.
But I was just like, it reminded me of the woman before that we talked about that went in and then patted him on the head and I'm like, what are we doing with Tom Cruise?
How did the lady almost make out with him on international television?
And then, and then he, of course, goes and he grabs the flag from the IOC president and Simone Biles, and he puts it on the back of the motorcycle, and then he
rides that into a plane.
And he rides that into a plane. That was all pre-taped and whatever. And then the plane, of course, and the Chili Peppers at the end on the beach and whatnot. But I was just, again, with the Tom Cruise grabbing and kissing and all that, I'm like, what are we doing? Like, be a little more. I get it. Maybe this is my only shot to ever, like, put some lips on Tom Cruise. I'm going to go for it.
Well, nothing was stopping her. She was right there, and he was right there. So if you're going to
took advantage.
She did. Apparently, no doesn't mean no in her family.
Apparently, he ran with the Olympic torch in 2004.
Oh, I know he's done. There must be some tie-in. You know what I mean? Like because
the Hollywood part, I guess.
All right.
I think that's it.
He's the only one willing to jump out of planes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You need someone to jump out. Hell yeah, Tom Cruise will do it.
And he'll make out with everybody.
And he'll let everybody make out with him and pat him on the head and like he's some kind of mascot or something. Oh yeah. I'm concerned for his safety.
I think he's all right.
Well, imagine, again, flip those gender roles around, right? Who's a famous actress that's in action movies, right?
Jumping out of
Angelina Jolie, maybe?
right?
I don't
She
know.
comes
Who?
jumping from the thing.
Right, and imagine she's going through the crowd and some guy just goes in and starts trying to make out with her. Like, imagine how pissed off people would be. Not that I'm mad. I'm more shocked by it. I'm just like, wow, lady, like, that takes a lot of gall to go out there and lay those lips all over Tom Cruise. But again, if it was the role reversal there and it was a woman, people would be like,
whoa,
creepy dude trying to,
Right.
Ryan says maybe the Olympics are testing out putting the average Joe Blow against actual athletes for comparison with the breakdancing. That was not necessarily my idea, but that's I subscribe to that theory. I think that we should have one person on the blocks that is an average person against Sha'Carri Richardson and the rest of the field and see how far behind they are. And maybe that's what the breakdancer was.
Doing laps.
Maybe they didn't. Maybe they needed an extra person on the team, and they just found someone in the crowd. Like, hey, can you break dance? No, but I'll give it.
Sure,
I'll give it a whirl.
I can try.
I'll see what I can do.
Yeah,
I'll go out there, hit the music, right? It's Rage Against the Machine.
Rock mornings only on 95.7 The Rock.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.
Rage Against the Machine with Testify. Rock Mornings, Brian and Gene. Looks like up near 80 pretty much all this week. Going to kind of hover right around 80. Not going to get too warm, not going to get too chilly.
And rain, it looks like, what, Wednesday, Thursday-ish, kind of?
Yeah, I see some showers on Thursday, maybe on Friday as well. Obviously, we're keeping an eye on that, but it looks like cloudy early part of the week. High temps, again, right around 80 degrees in our area for most of the week.
Corn looks so good on my way to see my mom all around the area, but my brother was telling me that the cobs are super small this year because of how wet the early part of the summer was. So while the plants look great, the corn yield itself might not be as great. But the soybeans look good. Stuff look good.
All I know is every single human being is selling corn somewhere right now.
Dude, I've had it the last 2 weeks. It's delicious.
Oh, it's great. Don't get me wrong.
Have you?
Yeah. We stop and we hit the trucks, but like I see trucks in like almost every parking lot. There's like a table set up in like somebody's front yard. You're going through a neighborhood. They're like, we got corn. We got every corn everywhere.
So good.
Hell yeah.
Had that and some fresh maters too from the
melons too. A lot of melons. Allison Chain's coming up in a few minutes. If you want to get in touch with us, visit rockmornings.com.
Rock mornings, Monday to Friday, 6 to 9.
Allison Chains with Wood. It's Rock Mornings, Brian and Gene. You give birth in the hospital for all three of your kids?
I did.
No at home in a tub or any of that stuff?
Kiddie pool in the front room? No.
Not in a car, like on the way to the hospital?
I live very close and nothing became an emergency situation, thankfully, for me. So I was able to make it to the hospital. But I know of a lady who had her fourth one at home in the living room in a kiddie pool. For real.
With a midwife.
Oh, yeah. Not like I'm
just like honey,
that
bring
was
in the pool.
Plan.
Here it comes.
That was the plan.
Oh, yeah. Well, this woman's plan was not to have birth or give birth in a theater, but that's exactly what happened.
Like a movie theater?
Yeah, this is in the UK. Had gone to the theater with her husband and her other kids, and wasn't due for a few days. Went to see Sing 2 and apparently started feeling
Things
off.
happening.
Went to the bathroom and then realized that it was about time to get to the hospital. They couldn't get past the lobby, however, before the water broke and they had to lay her down, and that's when she delivered the baby. 39-week pregnant Sarah Vincent, due date August 13th, so tomorrow, was at the movie theater with her 3-year-old son Liam, her parents, James and Helen. So they got the
It's a
grandparents.
family affair. We're all
Everybody's
going to
there,
watch
right.
this baby be born.
And apparently the movie theater was very happy to announce that mom and baby both doing well. Obviously, EMTs and everybody got there and all that stuff. And they also have now given the kid...
I was just going to say movie pass for life.
For life, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
The child, the new
you go.
child getting movie passes for life after being born right there in the movie theater. And heroics from cops in Florida last week. A 5-year-old boy who has autism went missing.
Wandered off.
Deltona, Florida. They found him in a pond clinging to a log. And he's out there in, I think he had a T-shirt and shorts when I saw the video. The chest cam, the body cam footage of the officer running through the woods. It's kind of a swampy area. And who knows what's in the swamp, right?
Yeah,
Gators,
I know.
Crocs, who knows?
All the things.
Who knows what's in there? And he wasn't just, on the edge of the water. He was sort of out in, the cop had to go out there, in his, full gear and everything, and ran right out and grabbed him, picked him up, brought him back to shore, and ended up getting him back safely to mom and dad.
Coco! Hey, he's out here somewhere. Hey, I got him. X-ray 42 Central, I got him in the water, on facing. Come here. You got him? You want to see your parents?
Yeah, that's exactly where the kid went, home to see his parents. Dad called the authorities after his 5-year-old son escaped from their house through a second-story door, setting off an alarm. Family checked the surrounding area, decided to call 911 for help. Family informed the deputies that the 5-year-old boy is a child who has autism and that he was attracted to water.
Ugh.
Not the first time I've heard one of those stories. I know someone personally who's had a son that drowned in a pool because of that. Family told the deputies they had to take several measures to secure the house, which included the door alarm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a very good idea. Very good when you've got that situation.
Kids still managed to get out. That's kids for you, right? Doesn't matter what kind of
But
kid
they
you
were
got.
aware that it happened then, and they could start the search and call the people. If even a half an hour later, how would you?
So they started looking around the neighborhood at bodies of water, whether it was a pool. They went to a pond nearby the house. And at about 8 o'clock, they heard a voice, as you heard there in the video. 5-year-old in the water, body cam footage showing the deputy jumping right into the pond, carrying the boy to safety. 5-year-old boy then medically cleared and returned to his mom and dad. The deputy said, I thanked God for putting me in that position and for allowing the kid to be above water and breathing fine when we got there.
Yeah. But like you mentioned, what's in the water, or in a half an hour or more of struggling or trying to figure it out or panicking or whatever, and it could have been a tragic situation.
Got Shaw in the newsroom. We'll talk to him in a bit, plus some sleep theory on the way. If you want to get in touch with us, visit rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw. National Middle Child Day. I'm the oldest, the youngest, and the middle child, Shaw. I'm the only child. As my mother would say, they broke the mold when they made you. I was like, aren't you the one that made me? National Middle Child Day. Gene, you're like the oops child, right?
Yes, and the youngest.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yes.
You're the oops child.
Yes.
That generally implies that you are the youngest.
Yes.
Your closest brother, sister is what, 17 years away?
No, 10. My
10.
sister's 10, then it goes 10, 15, 20, 25.
Okay.
Right.
Shaw, you're the middle or the oldest?
The oldest, yeah. There's just my brother and myself.
Okay.
But Shaw and I both have middle children.
Yes, we do. I bet they fit the mold for a typical middle child.
They probably do.
Mm-hmm.
Both are...
The forgotten one, right?
No.
Always trying to make peace.
Oh, they're the peacemaker.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And ironically enough, both of them are going to be, well, Jack is, right, an educator.
Yeah.
And so is mine.
Nice. See?
So
Also, National Vinyl Record Day. So you got Middle Child Day and Vinyl Record Day, Shaw. Celebrate your middle child.
Will do.
Send Jack a text. Say, hey, man.
Thanks for being born in the middle. You did a good job.
Way to go, dude. You held up that middle.
He did. And still does.
Three-way with Shaw in the newsroom. What else happening?
One person has been arrested in connection with what police in La Crosse call a suspicious death at an area mobile home park. It was Thursday when deputies responded to La Crosse Mobile Home Park on Mormon Cooley Road after a report of a deceased person located outdoors. Police made an arrest on Friday. The suspect, who they haven't named, is expected to appear in a La Crosse court later today. One person suffered serious injuries and had to be airlifted to a hospital after a weekend crash in Trempealeau County. It happened Saturday just after 5 p.m. on Highway 54 near Centerville. Police say a truck was slowing to turn when it was hit from behind by an SUV. Rescue crews had to extricate the driver from the SUV. That person was airlifted by Mayo 1. The people in the truck had only minor injuries. For the third time in recent days, rescue crews responded to a climbing incident on Winona's Sugarloaf Park. Saturday afternoon, police got a call about a person who suffered an ankle injury while climbing in the park. Firefighters were able to rescue that person and take them to a hospital. On Friday, the fire department responded to a report of a hiker falling down the rock. The patient was taken to a hospital with multiple injuries. On July 28th, crews rescued a hiker who had fallen from Sugarloaf and suffered serious injuries. The Wisconsin State Patrol says a Janesville man is being charged with what may be his fifth arrest for operating while intoxicated. Shane O'Crowley was reportedly driving 106 miles an hour into 70-mile-an-hour zone on a stretch of interstate in Dane County on Friday night. The 34-year-old was arrested after a traffic stop. He was booked on a felony charge and taken to the Dane County Jail. It's a battle of division leaders as the Milwaukee Brewers welcome the Los Angeles Dodgers to town for a 4-game series starting today. The Dodgers are in first place in the National League West, while the Brewers are in first place in the NL Central. The Brewers will face the Dodgers ace, Clayton Kershaw, in the first game of the series, while the Brewers will send Freddie Peralta to the mound. First pitch tonight is at 7:10.
Have you been to one game this summer?
I have not been to a game. They were just talking about that. I don't know if we will make it this year.
I think in all of the years I've worked with you and known you, you've never missed a summer.
I'm not sure that I have. And maybe it's still possible. I mean, we've got the rest of August and all of September.
And they could make playoffs too, right? I mean, that could lead
they
into
are poised
October.
to, yes.
Still got time.
You went to Lager games yesterday?
I saw the Loggers beat the Huskies. Game 1 of the playoff series. They got another game tonight in Duluth. So if they win that one, then they move on to the next round, which I think is just one game. And then I was trying to make sense of it with Ben. He was trying to explain. I'm like, how does this all work now? Because I said it's very confusing. And
then you left more confused than
I was like, okay, well, good luck.
As long as they keep winning, it'll all work out.
Right, exactly. But yeah, they got a nice, I think, what was it, 12-6 final score against Duluth last night. So I don't think Duluth was used to a person like me in the stands. I did
make your presence known again?
I did see the umpire pointing directly at me at one point. I think, though, he was wondering where the bathroom was because it was sort of right behind us. We were up on one of the decks, and he was sort of pointing, and then he was talking to the Loggers manager, and they were both looking over towards me and pointing, and I was like, that's right, I'm the one talking. I'm the one out here. Mm-hmm. You'll hear me all game.
That's where the bathroom is.
Yep. But I think he was looking for the restroom. Three-way with Shaw in the newsroom. We'll talk to him again in a bit. We'll get to Disturbed after Sleep Theory.
Rock Mornings on 95.7 The Rock.
Disturbed with Prayer. Rock Mornings, Brian and Gene. You got the Brewers taking 2 out of 3 from the Reds over the weekend. 8-3 on Friday. 1-0 on Saturday. Then they lost 4-3 yesterday at home tonight against the Dodgers. 7:10 first pitch. Vikings over the Raiders on Saturday, 24-23. Packers over the Browns, 23-10.
Bears won too, didn't they?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, it looked pretty good, the new quarterback.
Yep.
Vikings, by the way, will be at the Browns on Saturday of this week at 3:25. Packers are at the Broncos. That'll be 7 o'clock on Sunday night, NFL Network. A little Sunday night football action. Don't expect to see Jordan Love or any of the offensive starters out there for week 2 or week 3 of the NFL preseason. Matt LaFleur said that basically they're going to shut it down and
that was your look at them.
play the play the string out, if you will. Put the scrubs in. Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Marquise Brown going down on the first offensive play of their preseason game against the Jaguars on Saturday night. Taken to a hospital with a shoulder injury. Sounds like he got a sternoclavicular joint sprain. Look at that. I think he separated his shoulder, basically.
That sounds like something.
Yeah. And the big news this weekend, other than the Olympics, was in NASCAR, is Austin Dillon basically wrecked everybody to get the win and secure his spot in the playoffs. Logano, not happy. Nobody was happy with Austin Dillon.
Okay. Everybody
crashed. He hadn't won in almost 2 years. I think it might have been even longer than 2 years. But Austin Dillon sent 2 cars into the wall in rapid succession. Result, a very season-changing victory for him as he now clinches a playoff spot. But obviously there's a lot of controversy. Dillon said, quote, "I hate to do that, but sometimes you just have to do it." Raced and bumped his way to victory last night, sending Joey Logano into a spin on the final lap to win in overtime at Richmond. It was his first win since August 28th of 2022 back at Daytona. Yeah, and people are not
I'm sure of it.
happy with him. So he'll get his comeuppance. It'll happen, but he's already punched his playoff ticket, so I don't think he cares all that much.
Yeah.
And Red Sox outfielder Jarren Duran issuing an apology through the team last night after a homophobic slur directed towards a fan in the 6th inning of the team's 10-2 loss at Fenway Park to the Astros. Boston trailing 10-0 at the time. A field mic picked up the entire exchange, which was heard on the NESN broadcast, the New England Sports Network, which is the Red Sox, home channel there in New England. The fan giving Duran a hard time, and the all-star outfielder could be heard yelling the F word back at the fan, telling him to shut the F up, you F word. And Duran could face discipline from either the team or Major League Baseball back in 2017. At the time, Oakland Athletics outfielder Matt Joyce suspended by Major League Baseball for 2 games after basically saying the same exact thing.
Similar.
Yeah. So I'm sure the MLB is going to come down on him, give him a couple games. But there you go. Sports on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We got Scott Stapp in just a bit. Also some Volbeats. If you need something, get in touch with us. Casey wants to hear some Seether. We'll try to do that. Paul wanted to know if you went 90-94 to see your mom over the weekend.
I did not. We took Highway 14.
Said they went on 90-94 yesterday, and it was a bleep show.
That's why I went Highway 14. Takes a little bit longer, but it's pretty, and it was,
less traffic.
Less stress, less traffic. I wasn't in a rush. I didn't have to meet a deadline, so we meandered.
Paul texted in and said that they were going to Madison to watch their grandson play soccer. Traffic was not as bad on the way back, but apparently out there it was pretty bad. So,
well, I heard there's lots of construction too. Always by the Dells. It feels like always.
Thanks, Paul. Get to that Scott Stapp next.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
It's time for today's Lucky Land horoscope with Victoria Cash.
Life's gotten mundane, so shake up the daily routine and be adventurous with a trip to Lucky Land. You know what they say. Your chance to win starts with a spin. So go to LuckyLandSlots.com to play over 100 social casino-style games for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. Get lucky today at LuckyLandSlots.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Maybe this will refresh your memory.
Since 2008, Brian, Gene, and Shaw have been your wake-up specialists.
Like old times, huh?
Now it's time to take a look back.
Go way back.
It's the Monday Morning Throwback. Every Monday morning, Throwback.
Going back a decade, 2014. And we've already kind of talked about this, actually, because 10 years ago, as we all remember.
Do we?
The viral ALS Ice Bucket Challenge.
Oh, do remember that.
Was all over the place. Pete Frates, rest in peace. And his battle with ALS, inspiring the Ice Bucket Challenge, raising millions of dollars for ALS research. And they're kind of revamping it.
They are trying to bring it back.
This year, now that it's on its 10th anniversary.
It's very successful.
And it was fun, and everybody was doing it, and we did it.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2014, I believe I had been challenged by my best friend Donut. And we had all been challenged by various other people. So we did one in our parking lot, Shaw.
I remember that.
And then we challenged our friends in Royal Bliss.
Mm-hmm.
We challenged our good friend Randy Hughes, who at the time was the brewmaster at the City Brewery. And we also challenged local news anchor at the time for the morning show on WKBT, Jennifer Livingston.
Mm-hmm.
Part of Jen and Bill Grawl. Randy did it right away. Royal Bliss did it right away.
Spectacularly.
Not only did they do it right away, but spectacularly, they did it after their van had gotten broken into and a bunch of their stuff went missing.
They had to shack up with some friends
in Chicago. But one person who seems to have all the time in the world didn't do it. And so we got her ass on the phone to try to get to the bottom of this situation and figure out what the hell was going on. And that is our clip from this week's Monday Morning Throwback. It's our call to Jennifer Livingston, who at the time was working at WKBT, Channel 8, here in town, to figure out why it was taking her so long to do the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge.
Today's show is brought to you.
That's not what I'm looking for. I don't know what the hell that is. Stupid me pressing the wrong stupid button. Here we go. Just to reiterate, I mean, we issued the challenge on Tuesday.
to Randy Hughes.
Our friends in Royal Bliss who did it immediately, even though their van got broken into and a bunch of their equipment got stolen.
Rock star band.
Really?
6 million views and counting on their Ice Bucket Challenge that they accepted from us.
Randy Hughes, 10 gallons of beer yesterday in front of the City Brewery. Did you see it?
No.
Randy Hughes.
But for some reason, you guys...
But not KBT.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right, we're on it.
9:05.
9:05 today.
Yes.
I am looking for buckets as we speak.
Okay.
And things will be happening.
All right.
Uh-huh. She eventually did the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge.
Just took a while.
It just took her a little while.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say that the bucket that she had in her backyard, I'm assuming, that she was going to douse herself with was very small.
It was a tiny, tiny little bucket.
A thimble of water.
Thankfully, the rest of her family, I think, chimed in and had buckets of their own and doused her. The Monday Morning Throwback, though, if you want to hear our entire conversation with Jennifer Livingston from 2014 about the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, you can go to our website. It's the Monday Morning Throwback.
Yeah, so they're Ice Bucket 10. They're saying, if you don't remember how this works, Shaw, get a bucket, fill it with ice or water. They're saying you can even be creative on this one. Confetti, it's a 10-year one. They're trying to, spread the word again. Take video or photo and action, challenge friends and family. Post on social media. Use the hashtag IceBucket10ALS.org.
Had some fun doing it. Wouldn't mind doing it again.
Mm-hmm.
I want to wait till the weather bumps up back into the 80s. Some of these mornings, man, it's been glorious.
It's beautiful right now.
In the 50s when you get up.
58 degrees right now.
Love it. Absolutely love it, Shaw. But there you go. The Monday Morning Throwback, our conversation with Jennifer Livingston, who just recently celebrated a birthday, about the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge and why it was taking her so damn long.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those news people, Shaw.
Right.
Took her a long time.
Wow, their egos are massive. Those TV people.
Didn't want to mess up her hair.
Oh, yeah, those TV people, they can't, they don't live in reality.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't write checks. She doesn't do her own laundry. She has, people for all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I love you, Livingston. You know I do. Got Shaw in the newsroom now for a three-way. What else is happening?
The last phase of a triple murder trial will begin this morning in a La Crosse County courtroom. Testimony ended on Friday at the second murder trial of Nia Tao, and closing arguments are scheduled for today. The prosecution rested after 4 days of witnesses. The defense did not call anyone to the stand. Tao is accused of fatally shooting 3 men in a West Salem quarry in 2021 over a $600 debt. Tao's first trial a year ago ended with no verdict. After that, jury discussed the case for about 10 hours. Turnout for tomorrow's election in the La Crosse area may be lower than in recent August primaries. The La Crosse County Clerk's Office estimates about 20% of the county's voters could cast ballots. A 3-person Democratic primary for Congress is happening in Wisconsin's 3rd District. The state also has 2 constitutional amendments that are up for a vote. Candidates on tomorrow's primary ballot in Wisconsin are doing some last-minute campaigning, especially in high-profile contests such as Wisconsin's 3rd District race for Congress. Democrat Katrina Shanklin has been appearing in the district with activist David David Hogg.
So he co-founded an organization called Leaders We Deserve. We're really honored to have their endorsement, and he's here on the ground with us. And at least 9 cities, I suspect, will be even more on Tuesday.
Hogg was a student at a Parkland, Florida high school who hid with others during a mass shooting at the school 6 years ago. He describes how his National Action Group decides who to endorse in important elections.
We're an organization. Leaders We Deserve doesn't just support people because they're younger elected officials. We support generational leaders. And what we've seen from Katrina's leadership in the legislature is somebody who can get things done, right? So we're here because of that, and we're here too because this is also one of the most important races in the country, where this district could be the reason why we're able to pass, stronger gun laws.
Shanklin and Hogg spoke in La Crosse and other parts of the 3rd District over the weekend. A weekend celebrating the Irish has come to a close in La Crosse.
Its cannons roar.
Yes, the Irish national anthem. That was part of the opening ceremony for the 19th annual Irishfest, which began Friday afternoon at the fest grounds. Of course, there was plenty of entertainment, food, and drink during the 3-day festival. Irishfest also featured exhibits about Irish heritage, a tug-of-war contest, and sheep shearing demonstrations.
Be careful there.
Did I win the trip?
I'm not aware. I didn't hear who won.
They had raffles.
Yeah, they always do. Trip to Ireland.
Trip to
right?
Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
We bought a couple tickets yesterday. I didn't know if I had one.
I have not heard who the winner was. Right. And as the Olympics close in Paris, Los Angeles has now taken the torch. The city will become the 3rd to host the Games 3 times. The last time was in 1984, when Los Angeles was as much a star as Olympians Carl Lewis and Mary Lou Retton. Olympic organizers will take advantage of a recent building boom in the city. The nearly new SoFi Stadium will host an opening ceremony that will also incorporate the century-old Memorial Coliseum.
3-way with Shaw in the newsroom. One more of those before we get to bad news, happy music. How we looking?
Let's see. A guy got arrested for trying to break into jail and ultimately got his wish.
You're supposed to break out of jail.
Mm-hmm.
No?
That's usually the way it works.
All right. Nobody said criminals were smart. But
Umbrella Academy, Shaw. Did you watch any of the other seasons?
No, I have not seen that.
Okay.
I've heard it's good.
Never mind.
You started it.
I
Thursday
just started
began,
it,
right?
and I haven't watched any more than when I started on Thursday. But you said now the Olympics were done, you were looking for something to watch. So I was going to recommend that, but you'd have to start at the beginning.
I just started rewatching all the Alien films because the new one comes out this weekend, Alien Romulus.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I don't remember things. I like to refresh when there's a new film coming out or a new series. It gives me a chance to remember the things that maybe I forgot, be ready for, any new stuff. But, I just started watching those.
That trailer looks good.
We watch Bar Rescue a lot, too. I wish he would come here because then I could be on Bar Rescue. No, because every time he goes to a bar, have you ever watched the show?
No, I've not.
He takes someone with him?
No, every time he does recon, right? It's so contrived and stupid, but I love it, right? It's my trashy soap opera TV that I like to watch, right? Bar Rescue. It used to actually, there used to be, when it first started, he had actual, kind of nifty little science things that, actually, had data behind it in terms of things he could do to improve the bar and improve its sales and all that stuff. Now it's just he goes in and yells at them, kind of like Gordon Ramsay, and then transforms their restaurant, makes it look really nice, and yada, yada, yada. Anyways, no, when they do the recon for Bar Rescue, they always send in local radio DJs.
Oh.
So they go and they find this bar that's a piece of crap and it's hemorrhaging money and they need John Taffer's help. So and then he comes to town and they send in the DJs to try the food and drink the drinks and whatever. And
then they take that
and he always says he always says, I got my friends from this radio station to go in and they go in, they do remotes all over and they know the bar scene. I'm like, that's me. I'm the bar guy around here. Everybody knows that, right? I'm the dude in the bar. So I could be on Bar Rescue, but unfortunately, it's
Do you have to apply? Did you try applying? Did you look into it?
I looked online actually a couple months ago because I was like, has he ever done one in Wisconsin? Because he does a lot in Florida and he does out in California, and they're always these strip mall bars, right? They're always these a weird and maybe because the rent's low, I have no idea, but it's strange. And there was actually one that he did in Milwaukee, and people. They did some interviews with some of the people, as to why Taffer doesn't come to Wisconsin. He's like, because we don't need him. The bars here are just fine. Well, and
I got this. We're good at bars.
Well, and I think about the places where I like to drink, the places I like to go.
They're not coming to rescue them.
Well, they don't. First of all, they don't need the rescuing.
Right.
All right. They're doing
saying.
just fine. Second of all, he always wants to elevate, right, and do these like craft cocktails and all this. And like, look, man, if that's your thing, that's fine. But the places that I go, they're not that kind of place, right? You're not going to put a $9 mixed drink and fancy shakes and all that stuff all over the place. No, dude, it's a beer and a shot kind of place. So
Looks like they've been twice to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Campbell's Irish Pub in Milwaukee.
Yep.
And why
And I think
not
that place
3?
closed shortly after he visited.
Oops.
Yeah. He must buy into it somehow, too, is my guess. He must have some kind of like...
Profit margin or something?
Well, he's got his own alcohol brand now and his own mixer. So he's branching out. He's diversifying, which is what you do when you become, popular and famous or whatever. But I think in terms of the bars themselves that he rescues, quote unquote, Shaw, I think he might have a stake in them at some point afterwards, right? And seeing them
maybe that's part
be
of the
successful.
deal.
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah, you're right. The Campbell's Irish Pub is closed.
They closed? All right.
So it didn't rescue it very long or very well anyway.
Well, and I think the reason is because I think you go in there thinking, oh, we're going to elevate it, make it nicer, and no, that's not what the people around here really
Drink
want.
Wisconsin-ability.
Right. We want, a beer and
like
a
our dive bars.
Yeah, we want the divey
We do not
stuff.
need rescuing. Thank you very much. Go away.
And I always think of the Plywood Palace. I love that place.
There's no rescue in that place.
There's no need to, though. It's perfect the way it is. And that guy, he'd walk in there and he'd be like, nope, I can't do it. He did one in Iowa, though, that they, it was like I think it was one of the only, I think maybe 2 or 3 of them he has not rescued. And the one in Iowa, they just were so, like, stupid. And
Face Bar in Council Bluffs.
Yes, the O-Face Bar. The bar, so one of the owners of this place, Shaw, the O-Face Bar, the girl, she would sit at the end of the bar with a bell. Like, remember Margie had the bell at the front desk? Yep. And she would ring the bell whenever she wanted drinks from the bartender. And that's the owner. So she's like, you got to answer to the owner. So she's down there ringing this stupid bell. And he went in there. You knew it was a disaster from the jump. And you knew they weren't going to get rescued. And he walked out. He's like, I'm not doing it. F you guys. I'm out of here.
This is not happening.
And I think they closed shortly after he left. But anyways, sorry. Weird tangent about bar rescue. But I could be the recon.
Recon.
Go in for recon.
Well, let's see if we can get their attention.
I don't think there's no one. He's
screaming, help me.
Right.
With your
not the places that I go, at least. I think they're doing okay. Volbeat now.
Rock mornings on your rock station.
The Devil's Bleeding Crown from Volbeat on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We got some AC/DC on the way. Another 3-way with Scott Robert Shaw, plus the friggin' sports. And Bad News, Happy Music. Going to talk about burgers later on as well.
Just had one last night on the grill, as a matter of fact.
I had one at the Lager game last night. It's delicious. What'd you have on your burger?
Munster cheese, lettuce, tomato, red onions, pickles, mayo, mustard, ketchup.
It's a good-ass burger.
That was a good burger. That and corn on the cob, which was mwah,
Can't go wrong.
mwah, perfect right now.
And prime rib on Saturday night. Was good. Yeah.
So the corn, I've decided that this is the way I'm boiling it. If I'm not putting it on the grill, I'm bringing the water to boil.
You doing the cooler thing?
And then I'm just taking it off the heat, and then I put the corn in it.
Yeah, you don't...
I put the lid on it. I don't actually cook it with the corn in it. It just sits.
Why?
And in 15 minutes, it was perfect last night. 15 minutes.
I will usually, once it's at a boil, I'll throw the corn in there, let it boil for 30 seconds, shut it off, cover it, move it over, let it sit, and then right before I'm about to eat corn, after I've done the other stuff on the plate, take it out so it can cool off enough so you can handle it. Mm-hmm. It's perfect.
I used to cook
How do you do the
water.
butter? How do you do the butter?
I have a butter boy.
What the hell's a butter boy?
It's a little...
You're such a dork.
I'm not a dork. It's a little container like this.
Right.
But the butter goes in as a square, the stick, right?
Yeah.
It's got a little hat. So you take the hat off, and then you can just...
So you're holding onto the butter stick, but it's inside of a thing.
Yeah.
So you're just rubbing the stick on it instead of taking a pat with your knife and rubbing it on.
See? It's a butter boy.
Oh, my God.
And then it's...
All right, dork.
I'm not a dork. And then the lid comes off, and then you can go like this, and you don't get butter. And they put the lid back on, and it goes right in the fridge.
I have never heard of a butter boy nor seen a butter boy until this moment right now. Never knew. Never even knew it existed. Had no idea.
Boy?
No idea. I take the knife, I cut off a slab of butter, and I slather it all over the corn, and
howdy
then
partner, because
little
you
shake,
can just take
little
his
shake
hat
of the salt,
off.
and then chomp. I do it one row at a time too. I don't do the whole entire ear of corn with the butter. I go one row at a time.
What?
I will butter, salt, eat a line, and then roll over, and then butter, salt, eat a line. I don't just do the whole entire corn.
I'm the dork for having a butter boy? What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
What are you don't butter and salt and pepper the whole damn cob at the beginning?
No, because I'm doing one line at a time.
God.
What kind of lunatic does that? Then
Everybody
No, they
on
don't.
The
Then all the butter all the butter and salt
Yes.
falls off it as you're eating it.
Yeah, no, and then it's on the thing.
No,
and
do it one at a time, and then I got
God.
a maximum amount of butter and salt on there.
Man.
Take your butter boy and go home.
You could do the whole thing in
No,
strips then, because the butter boy, look at
No,
it.
because then the butter falls off the sides I'm not eating.
God, you do one thing
I've got
at
it
a
all
time.
contained to that one strip, the one line I'm going to go for.
I'm the dork.
Jesus,
How can you
butter
really-
dork.
cute
Whatever,
little
dork, butter dork. Take your
Butter
dorky
boy.
dork and get out of here. Butter dork. Would you put that butter
You
on a
rows of the
squirrel?
whole thing at a time.
No.
3 times, butter boy around.
Don't know. No,
done.
one strip at a time. And then you got maximum amounts of butter. Right there. Butter dork. AC/DC next.
More of your rock mornings coming up in just a bit.
AC/DC with Thunderstruck. Rock Mornings, Brian and Gene. Turns 49 years young today. Some people say he's more talented than his older brother Ben, but I guess it depends on what you're looking for. I guess you would say he's probably the more serious actor out of the two. But Casey Affleck is 49 years young today.
You want to talk real customers? Kid, that's me. I'm like the mayor of Dunkin's. This is the face of Dunkin' Donuts right there.
I've said it before, I'll say it again. There's never been a more accurate portrayal of someone at a Dunks than that SNL skit of Casey Affleck. Trim your nails. Can't smoke in here. Casey Affleck, 49. Sir Mix-a-Lot, 61.
I like big butts and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny.
When a girl walks in with an itty-bitty waist and a round thing in your face, you get when I pull up tuck, because you notice that butt was stuck. Where?
Deep in a G she's wearing.
Deep in a G she's wearing. Everybody knows the words to that song, right? It's like Jump Around. You just know it. You're sort of born with it now, right? It's in the DNA. Sir Mix-a-Lot, 61. Sam Jones is 70. He, of course, was Flash Gordon, quarterback, New York Jets.
Flash Gordon, quarterback, New York Jets.
Hell yeah. I'd have to watch that. Mark Knopfler, 75 years young. Sultans of Swing, Dire Straits.
Probably, I can see that Shaw probably digs Dire Straits.
Oh, how could you not?
You get a shiver in the dark, it's raining in the park, but meantime.
But Mark Knopfler of Dire Straits, 75 years old today. August 12th, 1983, 41 years ago today, Cujo in theaters. Stephen King, big dog.
Mm-hmm.
Attacking the mom and her kid in the car. Not good. You ever seen the picture of it was actually a man in a dog suit for a lot of those scenes. You ever see that? There's a picture of them. Dee Wallace, who played the mom in the movie.
Yeah.
Standing next to the guy that was wearing the dog suit. He's like standing up straight and he's got it all, attached to him or whatever. Very funny photo. But 83, Cujo in theaters on this day. 1988, 36 years ago today. Lou Diamond Phillips, Kiefer Sutherland, Charlie Sheen, Emilio Estevez. It was called Young Guns and it ruled.
We work for Mr. Tunstall as regulators. We regulate any stealing of his property. We're damn good, too. But you can't be any geek off the street. Gotta be handy with the steel, if you know what I mean. Earn your keep.
Regulators? I don't know. Young Guns in theaters on this day in 1988. 3 years later, 1991, Metallica releasing their self-titled fifth album, which everyone refers to, of course, as the Black Album. And it went supernova from there on.
Yeah, it sure did.
And then it was just blank checks.
How much would you boys like to see?
I know it's not everybody's favorite. It's not my favorite, but it's still a hell of an album.
Well, it's the quintessential Metallica album, isn't it? You know,
yeah. I mean, I think most people would choose Master of Puppets as their favorite, a Metallica fan, if you were to ask them. I prefer Justice for All. But when it comes to commercial success, you just can't beat the Black Album. 30 years ago today, 1994. This one had Hilary Swank in it. It was The Next Karate Kid. That's not The Next Karate Kid. But that came out on this day in 94. Hilary Swank, Mr. Miyagi. They got tired of Daniel-san.
Mm-hmm.
Did she ever come back for the Cobra Kai?
I don't know. I never watched it.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of that.
1994, the second Woodstock 94, kicked off to mark the 25th anniversary. You could go for about $135 for all 3 days, or you could watch it on pay-per-view. Yeah. And in 2005, 19 years ago today, The Skeleton Key in theaters.
Isn't that another Stephen King?
No, that's the one with, what's her nuts? Goldie Hawn's daughter.
Yeah.
Or no, is it Goldie Hawn? Yeah. I forget her name.
Skeleton Key.
Yeah, it's Voodoo in the South. Remember? She's taking care of the old couple. One of them is John
Hudson?
Kate Hudson. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, she goes down there to, like, take care of the old guy and finds out that the wife is, like, doing voodoo on him.
Okay, no thank you. No voodoo.
My wife loves that movie. But there you go. Some birthdays and stuff that happened on August 12th. We'll get to some Filter and some Scott Robert Shaw next.
Rock Mornings. On air, online, on the app.
Rock Mornings, Brian, Gene, and Shaw in the newsroom. Shaw, how do you butter your corn?
How do I butter my corn? I use a knife, and I take some of the butter, and I slather it on there from one end to the other.
All right, so you got an ear of corn, delicious sweet corn. Mm-hmm. It's fully shucked. It's been boiled.
Was it hand shucked?
Ready to eat, right?
Yeah.
You got the butter on the butter serving plate or whatever the hell it's on. You take a little pat of that, and do you butter the entire ear of corn? Or do you go one row at a time?
I usually butter the entire ear.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen people do one row at a time, so there's always butter on there when they take a bite.
That's your boy right here. Mm-hmm. That's how it goes. Gene's got some kind of weird butter dildo that she uses.
It's called a butter boy, Shaw. Have you ever seen one?
I have not.
Okay, so it's
think of like your underarm right guard.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Like right guard,
it's
Shaw.
Butter deodorant. You stick the stick up underneath him, and then the butter comes up through the bottom, and he's got a little hat on him, so you can put it
festive.
So you
don't have to bare hand the butter.
You don't have to bare hand the butter.
And you don't have to use a knife.
You can just roll it, and then it's shaped like that, right? So the butter goes around the corn.
Have you ever seen one of these things before?
I have not.
Have you ever heard of one of these things before?
How do you store it like that? Then you put that's what I'm saying. His lid goes on the top, and then you just put him in the fridge.
Like a stick of deodorant.
Yeah.
I've never heard of a butter dildo or whatever the hell that
butter boy.
Butter boy, butter buddy.
Butter buddy.
I've never heard of one or seen one.
I really like corn.
What do you like about corn?
Ever since I was told that corn was real, it tasted good. I love corn. Corn. I hope you really have a corn-tastic day.
Hell yeah.
A corn-tastic day?
It's corn. It's awesome.
Gene thinks I'm weird because I only do one row at a time.
I've never seen that ever.
Yeah, I've seen people do that.
I think you're weird because you got some kind of weird butter contraption. You can't just do butter like a normal human being. You got to get some kind of goofy thing off Amazon.
It just keeps it clean, and you don't have to have it on.
Everything's fine with my butter. It's clean as can be. It's good to go.
Never heard of doing it row by row.
Again, you don't take a huge thing. You just take one pat, and then you use that whole pat for the one row, and you go after it.
And then you salt and butter that one row. And
then you go back and do it again every single time. You get 4 or 5, 6 turns out of that bad boy. It's a way to get more butter.
How big is a roll? Do you just do one?
Four,
like nibble it all the way across?
Four or five.
Okay,
4 or 5.
a bite size?
Yeah, I'm not unhinging the jaws here, Shaw. I'm just, going in for, and then I go down the row and I get a maximum amount of butter and salt along with the corn.
The part that I find odd is those people who take the ear of corn and put it in a dish of butter and just roll it around on top of the butter.
We got a text from Ryan. He does that. He says, stick a butter on the plate, roll the cob on it, salt it, then it shouldn't take more than 30 seconds to eat the whole thing so nothing drips off. Ryan, you're
and I used to that's how I used to do it because that's how we grew up with the stick of butter on a plate. But then the problem is you got this weird misshapen stick of butter that you have to put with saran wrap on. You got to put it in the fridge where the butter boy is the perfect. The execution is perfect, Shaw, and the storage is perfect.
Chad texted in and said he hates to say it, but he's with Gene on this one. He also sent in some kind of alternative butter boy thing. Look at this stupid thing.
Alternative.
2-pack butter spreader, plastic butter spreader with built-in cover, corn cob butter holder, spreads butter dispenser on pan. Look at this dork. Way to go, dork.
It's kind of the same thing, only it's not.
Jesus Christ. I don't need to buy things off Amazon to put butter on food, Shaw.
But then it stores
out pretty well for you.
It's a 2-step process. Butter, food, done. I don't need anything in the middle. Vicky said, she texted in and said, things heard at work while listening to the show during your corn conversations. Number 1, the kids are fighting again. Number 2, think Gene might drop an F-bomb again. Number 3, you butter the whole damn thing, then go to town.
Yeah.
Troy says, butter a piece of bread, roll in it. This is us, Troy. What the hell kind of psycho food are you eating?
What's he doing?
You butter a piece of bread. So you take a piece of bread and you butter it.
And then you use the bread to butter the corn?
Then you roll the corn in the butter on the bread. And then you eat the bread after? I get. That's, again, another step.
Corn-flavored bread.
How many steps do you need to put butter on corn? I mean, Christ's sakes. You're putting it in this plastic butter buddy thing. He's putting it on bread. Somebody's putting it on
the butter is in the butter boy. It keeps it good shaped. You put it stores well in your fridge. You can have the butter in there all season, and then
Troy
you just
says
restock
it works. Yeah, good for
from
you,
the
Troy.
bottom.
I'm not
restock it from the bottom.
Yeah, Brenda sent in a picture of this stupid butter thing from Amazon. I'm not buying special products to put. Where is your life at? You need to reassess your life if you can't figure out how to put butter on corn. If you got to get some kind of special contraption off the internet to put butter on corn.
It stores my butter.
You got problems, man. Seriously.
Cleanly. But then at the end of this, I will tell you when the
we need to get a therapist on the phone. Something happened to you.
Season's done, I clean out the butter boy and put it back in storage until the next summer.
Nikki says, I grew up with that butter spreader that Gene uses. It works great.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what else works great?
It's not a winter butter spreader, though. It's a summer butter spreader. The butter boy only comes out when it's fun.
We got more people doing the bread thing.
So
said we use the crust end of a loaf of bread, put butter in it, roll the corn in the bread. Okay. Somebody said, who puts butter in the fridge? Well, it starts in the fridge. But then once I take it out.
Some people don't. I do. I'm not. Whatever.
You got to have it soft or else you can't use it right.
Not unless I'm baking. Then it sits out on the thing.
Trying to rake that thing over a slice of soft bread. No way. It's not going to work. Butter buddies and butter squares and butter just butter's fine. Just take it with a knife, put it right on the corn. It's good. If it's hot enough, it'll melt it. It'll be delicious.
You do you. I'll do my family. Butter boy.
Weird butter deodorant you got over your house, rubbing it all over your face.
Yes, butter boy.
Paula Dean style.
Hey, y'all. I'm Paula Dean. Butter, but take a butter, and butter.
Yeah. Rob says buttering corn is really simple. You put butter on a knife, slap the butter on the corn, start eating. Yeah, I don't need to involve things from Amazon in my butter to corn ratio here. It's not a necessity. Is that like a family heirloom? You guys passing that down to the kids? Get it on their wedding day or something like that?
Maybe in their stocking when they're ready.
Some kind of special mom box thing. This is for me, something old, something new, something buttered, something blue.
It's my own butter buddy. Thanks, Mom.
Knit her a little sock to go around it.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. That is, of course, Filter with Hey Man, Nice Shot. By now, you've heard of Noah Lyles, Olympic runner, pretty damn fast.
Got COVID?
Yeah.
One?
Yeah. But he also ran
Really fast.
really fast.
Yeah.
100 meters, 9.79 seconds.
Yes, under 10. Mm-hmm.
Fast.
Fast.
And now, to honor Noah Lyles, Holy Cow, a burger joint in his hometown of Alexandria, has put a new burger on the menu that celebrates Noah Lyles.
So it's priced, or got 9 layers or 10 layers? What's going on?
It's the Noah Lyles burger, celebrating Alexandria City High School alumnus, 100-meter final. The burger features a mix of Angus beef, cheddar, bacon, sweetbread, and butter pickles, lettuce, tomato, ranch, brioche bun. And if you can finish the burger in under 9.79 seconds, you get it for free. Good luck, though. This thing
is massive.
Well, I wouldn't say massive, but it looks like you're going to have trouble.
Is it
10 seconds.
This way or this way?
It's not massive. No, it's a regular sized burger. It's not like huge or
what
extraordinary.
time do I have to eat it?
Under 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So you basically have to shove the whole thing in your mouth, chew 2 or 3 times, and then swallow.
Not going to happen.
The Noah Lyles burger, available at the Holy Cow in Alexandria.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Turn around, look at that. You see what I mean? It's plump, it's juicy, it's 3 inches thick. Now, look at this sorry, miserable, squashed thing. Can anybody tell me what's wrong with this picture?
Yeah. I can't finish that in under 10 seconds.
No, I don't see how you could chew and swallow just that alone.
I hope no one
like
actually tries it, because it
sounds
like,
dangerous.
Sounds like you might have, a little trouble there.
Yeah.
Diners who finished the burger in under 9.79 seconds, the time it took him to finish running 100 meters, your burger will be free, but
that sounds...
you might choke on it as well. You gotta be careful. The Noah Lyles burger.
Cheeseburger with Pepsi. Cheeseburger, Pepsi.
Cheeseburger. It looks good, though. But again, it almost looks like, I don't know, if you're... I have nothing to compare it to other than the pickles and the tomato that are on it.
Well, I just had a burger last night with all those things kind of
it
on
looks,
it.
It looks like it's probably about the size of a Junior Whopper.
I could not do that
right?
in 10 seconds.
Look at that. Doesn't that look like about the size of a Whopper Junior?
Going to have to chew and take bites and swallow. Going to take longer than 10 minutes. Or 10 seconds.
Good. It's good, though. It's real good. Friggin' Sports, brought to you by Noah Lyles and his new burger at the Holy Cow. We'll get to bad news, happy music next.
Rock Mornings, only on 95.7 The Rock.
You're about to enter a beautiful, exciting, wonderful new world.
A cockroach living in your nostril. Now that's just nasty. Add in some haven't pooped for 30 days.
Poop is raining from the ceilings. Poop.
And sprinkle in some hashtag Florida Man for flavor.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man quits his Burger King job, steals all of their chicken nuggets.
It's bad news.
Bad news.
With happy music.
Let's rock.
Monday edition of Bad News, Happy Music. What do we got?
Well, by all accounts, the Olympics in Paris was a spectacle until the end. A shirtless man was arrested after he was spotted climbing the Eiffel Tower just hours before the Olympics closing ceremony.
Wasn't Tom Cruise?
It was not. French authorities were forced to evacuate the famous landmark. The guy was spotted above the Olympic rings, just above the first viewing deck on the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, he really got up there.
He was wearing just a pair of black shorts and shoes with no climbing equipment. The police intervened, and the person was arrested.
It wasn't Hasselhoff, was it?
It was not Hasselhoff.
No?
As far as we know.
Okay. This is a mess.
Sunita Williams made headlines years ago for running a marathon on a treadmill at the International Space Station. Preparing to return in June for a one-week visit, she didn't plan on a repeat. But as it turned out, Williams may have plenty of time after all. Williams and her fellow astronaut, Barry Wilmore, are caught in the middle of a debate within the National Aeronautics and Space Administration over whether Boeing's Starliner vehicle, which took them to the ISS, is safe enough to bring them back. What was expected to be a roughly one-week mission has turned into a summer in space, with their stay possibly lasting into early next year.
What?
Boeing has said it is confident Starliner is up to the task of bringing the astronauts home. Now, these two arrived at the space station in early June with limited luggage and duties. Since then, the two have immersed themselves in day-to-day routines and research 250 miles above the Earth's surface. Starliner's propulsion system hit some snags before it even docked with the facility. A handful of thrusters that maneuvered the spacecraft temporarily failed. Several helium leaks emerged. Since then, NASA and Boeing have been debating whether Starliner can safely bring Williams and Wilmore back home.
Can you guys figure it out a little quicker?
Exactly.
We're kind of stuck up here.
Yeah.
We would love to come back home.
They may have to wait until February and catch a ride home on SpaceX.
Oh my God. All these people are sending crap up into space and they can't get it back. I'm never going back up here.
That is awful.
Right? They're handling it well, apparently. They're not, panicking or anything.
If anybody's prepared for it, it's people who spend all the time in space, you know?
In Massachusetts, a man was arrested the other night after allegedly stealing $13,000 worth of chips from a poker table at the Encore Boston Harbor Casino in Everett.
Right out in the open, huh?
Yeah, police got a call and they reported that somebody grabbed a stack of chips from a dealer's tray at a table game and then ran off. The suspect, later identified as 35-year-old Gary Hunt, was at the table but apparently not playing the game. They say he got up multiple times to use his phone, and when he returned to the table, he announced that someone had won a large sum of money, which distracted the other patrons at the table. While they were distracted, police say Hunt reached over the table and stole 13 orange chips worth $1,000 each from the dealer's tray and took off out the emergency exit.
Took him from the dealer, not a player. Huh?
Yeah, he was quickly located in a nearby parking lot and was arrested.
Does he not realize they have cameras?
Oh my gosh, they have cameras everywhere.
The cameras
have cameras.
The cameras have cameras. Idiot.
If only there was a sign. A woman was injured in Boston over the weekend after part of a sign fell and hit her while she was walking down the street. It happened next to the corner mall. The victim was taken to a hospital with what they describe as non-life-threatening injuries.
Did the sign have anything funny on it?
No, I don't think so.
There was nothing, no funny words on it
or anything? It was a
anything?
restaurant sign, if I'm not mistaken. So
didn't say everybody welcome.
No.
Kneel down and pray.
Boom. 3 German tourists are facing fines and possible jail time after being accused of vandalizing California's Joshua Tree National Park.
Yeah, so paintballs, right?
Yeah, rangers discovered fresh yellow paintball splatter on signs and structures during a routine patrol of the campground yesterday. The German tourists admitted to shooting at the signs and a bathroom after paintball equipment was discovered in plain sight in their vehicle. They each face up to a $5,000 fine and up to 6 months in jail.
Yeah, I was worried when I first saw the headline on that. I'm like, what'd they do? Cut down trees or, cactuses or what? No,
luckily the damage wasn't that severe.
Paintball.
Your kid might have beat this record over the weekend. They just didn't time it. A Marine Corps veteran in New Jersey named Justin O'Donnell set a new world record by playing World of Warcraft for 3 days straight.
Oh!
He played for 78 hours and 30 minutes. That's 3 days plus 6.5 hours. He says he got physically tired but didn't have trouble focusing. He got a 5-minute break every hour, which he mostly spent eating and playing with his dogs, but he didn't sleep at all and ended up with 80 minutes of unused rest time in the game. The previous record was just over 59 hours, so he beat it by almost a full day.
Yeah.
So he was going for a record? Did he get it?
Yep.
Oh. Was that his name?
No, it was not Leroy Jenkins.
Okay.
Sorry. This sounds like a sticky and stinky situation. A truck hauling 48,000 pounds of molasses crashed into a truck that was loaded with manure It happened near Twin Falls, Idaho. The molasses truck plowed into the back of the manure truck. Then the manure truck crashed into the center median and caught fire. So burning manure. About 1,000 pounds of molasses spilled out onto the highway. The road was partially blocked for about 4.5 hours.
Manure! I hate manure!
What about molasses? Do you hate molasses?
No,
That feels very like a lot of flies. Feels like that's a lot of flies.
I think so, yeah.
that's
Clean up aisle 1.
a lot of flies.
How long does it take a large tortoise to get to the other side of a southern Arizona highway? Well, that's still a mystery. After a Department of Public Safety trooper recently helped rescue an escaped tortoise that was trying to cross the interstate. A driver contacted police to report a tortoise trying to cross the busy highway. The motorist and a police sergeant managed to get the tortoise off the road unharmed. Troopers saw the name Stitch labeled across the tortoise's shell, and they contacted an ostrich ranch that was 3 miles away. The ranch confirmed Stitch was one of its resident tortoises and had recently escaped from his habitat.
Got out.
Stitch has been safely returned to the ranch. 3 miles away? How long does it take a tortoise to go 3 miles?
Week?
Right?
Did they fix the enclosure so he can't get out again?
I assume so, yes.
I like turtles.
Yeah.
If you want to go to prison, you don't have to try this hard. A guy in Pittsburgh named Charles Fielder, got arrested over the weekend for trying to break into jail. He tried to break into the lobby at 4 a.m. by kicking the glass doors and using garbage cans as battering rams. He ended up breaking the 2-inch thick bulletproof glass, but was never able to get inside. He kept at it for 3 hours, and apparently no one
Didn't
noticed.
set any alarms off or anything?
I guess not. They finally found him after he passed out. He resisted as they loaded him into an ambulance to treat him for minor injuries and spit in a medic's face. He's facing harassment and burglary-related charges, and now he's right where he wanted to be, in jail. And stupid criminals aren't just known for dumb crimes. They're also notorious for making things worse after they get caught. A man in Michigan named Daryl Jarrell was in court, and he was almost off the hook in a minor trespassing case when he decided to go off on a judge just as he was about to adjourn the case.
Yeah, he did.
Daryl shouted, quote, "I'm tired of this state. I'm ready to leave as soon as possible. I could technically leave and you guys could issue a warrant, and as long as I don't return, you can just kiss my butt." The judge didn't appreciate that and hit him with 93 days in jail for contempt of court. That got Daryl even more heated, and he started directing F-bombs at the judge.
Remember that scene in Breakfast Club?
I do.
When he keeps asking for Saturdays and he keeps getting them?
One more.
That is exactly what happened. 2 months, Bender.
After each
2
one, the
months.
judge added another 93 days, sentencing him to 6 altogether to be
got
served
almost 2
consecutively.
years, right?
That's 558 days in jail for his foul mouth.
It's trespassing. I could technically leave and you guys could issue a warrant. As long as I don't return, you can just kiss my
I'm going to tell you what. You don't come here and that's contempt. That's another 93. That's another 93. That's 6 93s consecutive.
Oof.
Oof.
Ow.
Oof. Nobody could get him to shut up?
No.
Apparently not.
He was a man of his own.
Does Barry Manilow know that you raid his wardrobe?
Yeah. Mess with the bull. Get the horns.
Don't mess with the bull, young man. You'll get the horns.
Take your shot.
And another one. And another one.
You done yet? No.
No.
He got what he wanted. 2 whole years in jail. Bad news, happy music. Thank you, Shaw.
Yep.
Enjoy your buttered corn. It's 3 days grace.
Rock mornings, Monday to Friday, 6 to 9. Call.
Hello?
Email.
I tried emailing you.
Text. So many ways to check in with us. Check. We rely on you guys for traffic updates, requests, and all sorts of other stuff.
Check this out.
Rock Mornings, Brian and Gene. Visit our website, rockmornings.com, for all of our contact info. Got an email from Rick. Heat the corn on the griller in hot water. Jab the corn holders in both ends. Roll corn in cold or warm butter. Hope this helps.
Mm-hmm.
That's how Rick does it. I don't use corn holders.
I got some of those too.
We have them. It gets in the way. Somebody texted in. This would save, it would save you time with the buttering, but it wastes a lot of butter.
To melt the whole thing?
Yeah, cook the corn in melted butter.
Yeah. I also have one of those little tiny like butter warmers, with the handle that you can put on the stove. And so we've done that, and we used to do that before the Butter Buddy. We would melt it, and then you just pour the melted butter over the top of the corn. That's the other option.
Chad said, hate to say I'm with Gene on this one. I know what I'm getting Brian for Christmas. I told him it'll end up in the trash where it belongs. If he orders me or buys me some kind of corn butter thing, I don't need it. I'm a grown-up.
I like my Butter Buddy.
Brenda thinks that it's cute. The Butter Buddy, she's going to probably get one now.
Yeah.
I guess it looks like an alligator. Is that the deal?
It's green. It's got a little face on it, a little head. His head comes off, and that's how you butter the corn, and then you put it back, its head back on to store it.
T-Stat sent in a picture of those corn boats. You've probably seen those, right? It looks like it's in the shape of a ear of corn, and you put the butter in it, and then you roll it in that as opposed to on your plate.
Got it.
So this is what I grew up with: 2 or 3 pats of butter, roll the corn, add the salt.
Sure.
Got a text from Lucas, said, since we're talking about sweet corn, I'm going to say it. Elote is the best version of sweet corn. I do love me some elote. Got to be careful, though. It can get too spicy real fast. Somebody texted in and said, Jean likes working harder than she needs to. Boy, if that ain't accurate when it comes to the butter.
It's not working harder. It stores my butter nicely inside the Butter Buddy. I just put his little head back on and put him in the fridge, and he's good to go.
Rob says buttering corn is real simple. You put the butter on a knife, slap the butter on the corn, start eating. Yeah. Simple. A lot of, not a lot, but I had a couple people with the crust of bread thing. Where you put, what if you don't have bread? Then what do? You go get bread? Now
I guess if you really like eating a piece of bread with your corn in your meal, then that's...
Somebody texted in, I'm assuming they were talking about Jelly Roll and Falling in Reverse. Said, this song sucks. It reminds me of the movie, The Lorax's musical numbers in the movie, The Lorax. I didn't see that movie, so I don't know. Thank you, though. Ryan says, stick of butter, put it on the plate, roll the cob in it, salt it, and you're good.
I just know the corn is delicious right now.
Oh, yeah. It's fantabulous.
Get yourself some from a farm stand or a truck or...
Can't go wrong. Thank you very much for all the correspondence. Good to hear from you guys. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your Monday.
I'm Victoria Cash. Thanks for calling the Lucky Land Hotline. If you feel like you do the same thing every day, press 1. If you're ready to have some serious fun for the chance to redeem some serious prizes, press 2. We heard you loud and clear. So go to LuckyLandSlots.com right now and play over 100 social casino-style games for free. Get lucky today at LuckyLandSlots.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.